Today, the air around you is trembling, sweet soul, and I don't want to scare you, but I want you to be careful. Something heavy is trying to disturb your peace. Archangel Michael, I was sent here immediately. You didn't need to know this until the time was right. However, heaven has altered the timeline. Please make sure you receive and accept the things you will learn before this message with love, my dear. Therefore write, I receive and accept with love and generosity in the comments and seal it with 851. To maintain the balance of giving and receiving, if you send us a $20 super thank you gift from the bottom of your heart, it will be the first seed of blessing to fall on the soil of your wishes. Over time, it will grow into a tree that bears fruit in your life. This is no longer a whisper. It is a warning. I want you to open it right now, on July 17th. They have discovered a name. The name of the person who is spiritually following you. This person acts as if they care about you, smiles, and seems to wish you well. However, their heart beats with jealousy beneath the surface. And your blessings have become the nourishment for this jealousy. What is watching you is not love, but silent anger. God says you need to know this immediately because waiting will affect your future. What if I told you that this person has already made an attempt? When that attempt was stopped, your name was not on the final list, or something strange happened at your home the other day, and you thought all of this was a coincidence. No, this was not random. A force has been concealed behind it, cloaked in intimacy and clad in kind words. God has been keeping tabs on everything. Nothing has been overlooked. The most crucial moment has now arrived. The name is becoming more well known. The identity has been revealed. And heaven sits motionless, awaiting your answer. Because when you accept this, your entire life's vibration changes for the better. You are being drawn to this message for that reason. It was by divine order, not by chance or algorithm. Listen before I continue. It's not your imagination if your soul senses even a hint of what I'm saying. What's already surrounding you is touching your inner spirit. Perhaps you sense something wasn't quite right. Perhaps their words didn't match the gaze you sensed. In actuality, God has been keeping an eye on the person you confide in with your secrets. Closeness and closeness with malice are two different things. You're going to see how that line was crossed. Heaven's army is not only whispering this in your ear, so don't disregard it. They are wailing for you. It's critical. The wrong person gains more space every second you wait. Pause here, just for a second. Don't blame yourself if you've been feeling worn out, fatigued, or bewildered for no apparent reason, or if you feel like anything is impeding your development. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that you were unaware that you were being attacked spiritually. For months now, their silent pain has encircled you. Their mask is now coming off. Don't even consider this to be minor. This is enormous. Some objects haven't relocated because of this. This is now the secret to your success. It's not simply emotion if reading this makes you shiver or cry inexplicably. Spiritual confirmation is what that is. Don't pass up the opportunity to sign up for the Holy Letter right now if you're prepared to continue receiving messages directly when they're as essential as this. The communications are displayed in real time just to those who are selected. You will never again be unprepared spiritually. Now pay attention. It wasn't until later in the year that heaven intended to reveal this name. However, something altered. This individual went too far. Unintentionally, they started a conversation. They discussed you with a person they believed would keep it a secret. However, the selected one always finds the truth. God ensured that it was heard by the virtuous. Overhearing, a spiritual buddy offered a secret prayer to God. Then the heavenly realm's bells began to ring. Gabriel, the archangel, gave a warning. The message got urgent when Archangel Michael descended to you. The truth cannot wait till tomorrow. It is already at your door. You can feel as though you have lost your sense of who to trust. It is a consequence of spiritual betrayal. You're not alone, though. Archangel Michael is currently shielding you spiritually. Your heart is compelled to read on because of this. This message and your soul are connected by a thread. And I have to tell you this. This person is not far away and wants to hurt you. They are not unfamiliar. And that's the reason it hurts so much. You allowed them entry. They entered your atmosphere because you let them. They took advantage of your weakness. However, they committed a single error. They didn't realize who was watching out for you. They failed to remember that you're not alone. Perhaps you're wondering who it is. And when you're ready, the Spirit will pronounce the name to you, even though I can't write it down here in letters. While reading, the name may have already whispered in your mind for some of you. It wasn't a work of fiction. God used vibration to disclose that. For others, it will manifest in a dream this evening or in your peaceful moments before bed. But take note of this. You will feel a big burden lift from your chest as soon as you hear the name. You'll know it's the one that way. What your soul previously knew will be validated by your body. Do you recall the last time you were asked odd questions concerning your finances or future? Something about it didn't sit well, but perhaps they covered it up as curiosity. That was how they obtained information. You were being researched like a subject, according to God. Kept an eye on what you're constructing. They didn't give you a clap. They made calculations to avoid you. Heaven is no longer silent because of this. Enough, says God. You won't be treated as a piece on someone else's board anymore. Continue to listen. This same individual may make another attempt shortly. They might pretend that nothing occurred. They will visit, call, or communicate as if nothing is wrong. Don't be duped, though. If you don't know, they're testing. The world of heaven is pleading with you. Have faith in your instincts. Have faith in your spiritual warnings. You have been selected for a more elevated route. Blind allegiance is not something you owe anyone, especially those who covertly want you to fail. Not every smile is a good thing. Some people are only drawn to your light until they can take advantage of it. Now is the end of the period. Do you recall the last time you were asked odd questions concerning your finances or future? Something about it didn't sit well, but perhaps they covered it up as curiosity. That was how they obtained information. You were being researched like a subject, according to God. Kept an eye on what you're constructing. They didn't give you a clap. They made calculations to avoid you. Heaven is no longer silent because of this. Enough, says God. You won't be treated as a piece on someone else's board anymore. Continue to listen. This same individual may make another attempt shortly. They might pretend that nothing occurred. They will visit, call, or communicate as if nothing is wrong. Don't be duped, though. If you don't know, they're testing. The world of heaven is pleading with you. Have faith in your instincts. Have faith in your spiritual warnings. You have been selected for a more elevated route. Blind allegiance is not something you owe anyone, especially those who covertly want you to fail. Not every smile is a good thing. Some people are only drawn to your light until they can take advantage of it. Now is the end of the period. What if I told you that although your unexpected ascent is closer than you thought, It won't land completely until this energy is released. Yes, exactly. The blessing is already falling like a package from the sky, but it stops whenever it detects danger in your immediate vicinity. This identity disclosure is not rumor because of this. There isn't any drama. The surgery is divine. The next door won't open unless this individual is spiritually removed from your sacred place. That is the price of waiting. And heaven will no longer postpone your fate. This is your affirmation if you've ever remarked, "I don't know why, but I just feel like I need to distance myself from them." Your spirit has been communicating with Archangel Michael at night, so it knew before your reasoning could. Your instincts, nudges, and dreams were never arbitrary. And those murmurs are now becoming orders. You have to do something. Silence is no longer an option. Then pay closer attention, because what I'm going to tell you next will entirely change the way you understand. This individual wasn't merely planning to obstruct you. With malicious purpose, they said your name. They said it in contrast rather than in celebration. Behind closed doors, they whispered things to cast doubt on you and dull your light. They also believed you wouldn't ever learn. However, every word, breath, and motivation are captured in paradise. While your name was being misused, the angel stood in the room in a spiritual capacity. God felt it, not just heard it. He also noted the incident as a spiritual transgression. The epiphany has come today for that reason. Because it is too anointed to play with your name. You must recognize the rarity of your goal. Those who live in jealousy are threatened by the divine blueprint you were born with. It's spiritual suffering rather than merely jealousy. Their shadows are amplified by your radiance. Their guilt is triggered by your recovery. And they would like to knock you down rather than develop themselves. However, they are unable to. If you feel like giving $50 from your heart, that love carries the good news that God said, "It is more blessed to give than to receive," to the world. No more. Because the line has been drawn by God. The ground beneath your feet is being moved by heaven. The actors that acted out are going to be moved. One layer at a time, the curtain is coming off and their activities are being exposed. I'll tell you something you might not know. The unchosen are never attacked by the enemy. Those without a destiny are of no concern to the enemy. Your crown is visible in the spirit realm, which is why you may have been feeling spiritual strain recently. Even when you're not aware of it, you wear light. This person was unable to assist himself because of this. They made an effort to obscure their ignorance. However, they were unaware that your light was not human. It comes from the highest level. And what God has written in His book for you cannot be undone by any plot, sabotage, or secret whisper. Something else is involved. Lately, you might have experienced odd delays, unexpected losses, half-open doors, and unanswered calls. This was more than just bad luck. These were spiritual barriers triggered by the now exposed person's envy and malice. Every time you told them about your plans, you were being spiritually entangled. Heaven is telling you to seal your future because of this. Not every ear deserves to hear your prophecy before it materializes, so zip your holy stillness. I understand that it hurts, particularly if the person that comes up isn't someone you hardly know. This person has been there for a while. They may even be a part of your everyday environment. That's why spiritual betrayal is so painful. Access is the source of it, not adversaries. Don't harden your heart, though. Don't be resentful of this moment. Allow it to improve you. For God isn't merely showing them to give you pain. He is exposing them in order to set you free. There is a rescue effort underway. The truth is that heaven is severing this relationship permanently with a sword. Today, Archangel Michael urges you to keep this truth close to your heart. Your destiny is too magnificent to continue to be mired in covert harm. It makes no difference how long they have been in your life, or how strong your relationship was at one point. It must be treated like divine surgery if God declares that their name is now associated with spiritual harm. You are not being asked to fight alone. You are being asked to fight with caution, bravery, and submission. You are already surrounded by the army of light. All you have to do is accept reality. Heaven will take care of the rest. The identification will come to you tonight when the house is silent and your thoughts are calm. You'll remember the moment when everything changed, hear their name, or see their face. There will be a sudden silence in your chest along with a rush of clarity. You'll know that heaven just revealed it at that point. Don't flee from it. Don't doubt yourself. Keep the divine download in mind. Your freedom is attempting to get to you. Take it. Put it in writing. After that, say a prayer. I accept the truth, God. I give myself up to your defense. No soul that you did not send should be left in my space. And you'll notice something crazy as soon as you do. You'll regain your clarity. You will feel lighter. You'll feel more perceptive. And suddenly, one of the things that has remained stagnant, money, love, peace, or opportunity, will begin to go forward once more. The confirmation is that you are being slowed by that weight. The blessing pipeline is reopened as soon as they are spiritually disconnected. It is that swift, that strong, and that heavenly created. The identification will come to you tonight when the house is silent and your thoughts are calm. You'll remember the moment when everything changed, hear their name, or see their face. There will be a sudden silence in your chest along with a rush of clarity. You'll know that heaven just revealed it at that point. Don't flee from it. Don't doubt yourself. Keep the divine download in mind. Your freedom is attempting to get to you. Take it. Put it in writing. After that, say a prayer. I accept the truth, God. I give myself up to your defense. No soul that you did not send should be left in my space. And you'll notice something crazy as soon as you do. You'll regain your clarity. You will feel lighter. You'll feel more perceptive. And suddenly, one of the things that has remained stagnant, money, love, peace, or opportunity, will begin to go forward once more. The confirmation is that you are being slowed by that weight. The blessing pipeline is reopened as soon as they are spiritually disconnected. It is that swift, that strong, and that heavenly created. Let's not act as though the adversary won't make another attempt. Here's what has changed, though. You are no longer ignorant. You have a spiritual awakening. And the darkness shudders when a chosen one develops spiritual awareness, because evil now fears them. Their puppet no longer is you. You are the warrior of heaven, and Archangel Michael wields a flaming sword in front of you. Are you aware of what just transpired? In heaven, there was a holy court. Someone called your name. After the evidence was presented, a decision was made. Expose the person who is hurting them. Tell my child, God said. The time is now, so the heavens redirected energy to bring you here. The exposure must start, and your destiny must accelerate. I want you to remain vigilant for the next 3 days, because during that time you will witness something startling. A conversation will emerge. They have cried enough. Now they must rise. You were selected to read this not by chance, not by timing, but by divine strategy. The final piece, the confirmation, the divine reception will be someone else's confirmation of what you've just spiritually sensed. Don't be shocked. Just say, "Thank you, God." A truth will be revealed. Someone will make a mistake. It may be a social media post, a casual remark, an unexpected communication, or even someone else's confirmation. I appreciate you keeping me from being caught off guard once more. What was delayed, lost, or stolen because of this spiritual link will be returned, not only spiritually, but also financially, emotionally, and physically. God will restore what their energy hindered. So you're not just being rescued from harm, but you're also being prepared for restoration. Heaven has cleared the air around you. So watch how quickly things start to realign, not by chance, but because the angels are rearranging paths even now, bringing the right people closer and removing the wrong ones. Don't be alarmed if some people start to distance themselves. That's heaven doing surgery. Don't chase what God is taking away. You've reached the point in the timeline where divine justice is being served, and the person who attempted to harm you is now spiritually exposed. If you feel a burning sensation in your chest, tears in your eyes, or trembling hands, know that this is your spirit agreeing with heaven and that this message is for you. Then hold my hand a little longer, because this is where the real turning point begins. You've already felt the storm pass through your spirit. You've already seen the signs you tried to brush off. Next are restoration, elevation, and divine recompense. Good. You didn't deserve to be whispered about in the dark, to be copied, sabotaged, misrepresented, but you are not broken, you are chosen, and what comes next will make that indisputable. And now that the truth has broken through the walls of confusion, you're going to see what happens when heaven restores power to the one it loves. You prayed for something, you prayed for it, you prayed for it, you asked for it, you may have even fasted for it, and it didn't come for a long time. You thought perhaps God forgot, but He didn't. The jealousy of someone close to you blocked the energy from that prayer, even if they didn't say it out loud. That's how powerful spiritual interference can be. If you give a thank you gift worth $75, it will be like the first raindrops falling on a parched heart. But now that the identity is out, those blessings are no longer stuck. God is moving again, the prayer is being released, and nothing will stop it this time. In fact, you will notice things in your home shifting over the next 7 days. You will notice feathers, symbols, or numbers appearing repeatedly, and items that you haven't touched in months will suddenly fall or move. These are not coincidences. They are indications that spiritual forces are moving through your space, causing you to feel emotional without any reason, and that God's light is pouring into the areas that were previously darkened by deceit, while Archangel Michael's sword is slicing invisible connections. You may experience sudden bursts of joy, which is a spiritual detox and your soul tasting freedom once more. However, you must fulfill your responsibilities because the revelation was sent for alignment, not for amusement, so you must follow what heaven has instructed. Do not go back to what God has just revealed, and do not question what your soul is begging you to accept. God is not simply taking someone away. He is rebuilding your foundation. You see, the person who wished harm on you isn't the only part of the story. Sometimes the greatest test is not hearing the truth, but living by it. And if you can remain obedient, if you can honor the truth even when it hurts, you will walk straight into a new season. The actual story is you, though, the one God's eyes have never left, the one for whom angels stand by while you weep in private in the shower, the one who whispers, "Why do they treat me this way?" Even when you're exhausted, you are the one who keeps the light shining. You are a soul of prophecy, purpose, and protection, and now is the time to live accordingly, but you have to do your share. The revelation was sent for alignment, not for amusement, so you must follow what heaven has told you. Do not go back to what God has just revealed. Do not question what your soul is begging you to accept. That is why heaven moves mountains to protect you, even when you are unaware of it. God is not simply taking someone away. He is rebuilding your foundation. You see, the person who wished harm on you isn't the only part of the story. They were the blockage, but the real story is you. Sometimes the greatest test isn't hearing the truth, but living by it. And if you can remain obedient, if you can honor the truth even when it hurts, you will walk straight into a new season. God's eyes have never left you, and angels are there to support you when you sob quietly in the shower or mumble, "Why do they treat me this way?" Heaven moves mountains to protect you, even when you are unaware of it, since you are the one who carries light even when you feel exhausted. You are a soul of prophecy, purpose, and protection. Now that the blockage has been revealed, the new chapter begins. Do you feel a stirring in your chest? That's not anxiety. It's destiny. Your soul has been waiting for this moment, and God is about to surprise you. It's time to live like it. Something bigger is coming for you. And this message was the unlocking key. Let's take a moment to talk about dreams. You may notice that tonight or over the next few nights, your dreams become intense, symbolic, even prophetic. A conversation that will change your course is coming. Someone is coming who will speak life into your future. And a door that has been closed for months, maybe even years, is about to swing open. All of this starts with your obedience to what was revealed today. Your spiritual radar is now online because the truth has triggered a deeper frequency in you. Take note of what you see, write it down, and don't ignore anything. God sometimes uses symbols to conceal clarity, and at night, the identity you weren't prepared to accept may appear in your dreams. This is where things pick up speed, and what you're reading becomes more than just a message. It's a portal. And when you see their face again, don't run. Ask heaven for confirmation. It will come soon, either through a conversation, a repeating sign, or a direct word from someone who doesn't know what you're going through. Things that used to take months will now take days as you enter a realm of divine guidance. You are moving toward rapid restoration, but this requires spiritual vigilance. You must safeguard what God is giving you next. You cannot overshare or attempt to justify your choices to people who lack the same level of spiritual maturity. You owe no one your spiritual journey blueprint. Additionally, the person who attempted to harm you is about to experience a spiritual consequence, not because you want them to, but because God is just, and what they said behind your back will now reverberate in their own space. Some people are meant to witness the blessing after it is constructed, not during the building process. If you're wondering what to do next, here's your divine instruction. Speak aloud your agreement with heaven. The negativity they threw at you will boomerang. That's spiritual law. However, don't celebrate their fall. That's not your role. Instead, you should rise, rebuild, and quietly rejoice in the God who defended you when you didn't even know you needed defending. I receive your revelation, God. You say, I'm willing to accept the truth. Anyone you didn't send, I let go of. The shift will start when you say this sincerely, and don't be shocked if anything odd occurs in the hours that follow. And I open my heart for the blessings you've been waiting to offer me. Heaven always responds to agreement. Now walk tall because you are no longer the one who is unaware. You are the one who is spiritually awakened. You are the one who is guarded. You are the one who walks with divine forces beside you. And no name spoken in darkness can stop the name that God wrote in His book for you. The spiritual aftermath of obedience is a person backing away, a message not coming, or an unexpected opportunity opening up. Now you're protected, you're covered, you're free. The bond shattered when you embraced the truth, the blessings came when you decided to obey, and the angels celebrated when you decided that this message wasn't a coincidence. You are forever, so live as though you are protected by heaven. And now, dear soul, pay even more attention because from now on, every step you take will be sacred. You are no longer on the same path. You have entered the light of revelation and left behind the fog of illusion, which transforms everything. The spiritual atmosphere surrounding you is clear and uncluttered. What you perceived as a delay turned out to be divine timing, and what you perceived as abandonment turned out to be protection. God was keeping you safe until you were able to see the truth for yourself, and now you have. Archangel Michael has drawn a circle of fire around your energy. As a result, heaven can now send what it has been holding back. No lie, no gossip, no backhanded plan can get in anymore, but keep in mind that once you're protected spiritually, your choices must also protect your peace, which means you can't tolerate certain energies, conversations, or people, even if they come with tears, apologies, or explanations. You don't have to take care of those who have attempted to harm you spiritually. Forgiveness does not imply re-entry. God commands us to pardon them. God bless them. However, don't take them back to the place they attempted to destroy. You must realize that the next person God sends into your life cannot come until your circle is cleansed. The new relationship, the upcoming divine appointment, or the ideal opportunity all depend on a clean spiritual space. Since the blessing would have been tainted if it had been received while still surrounded by betrayal, that is why exposure came before elevation, and why the identity had to be revealed before the reward. However, now that the soil is ready and the path is clear, the blessing can now come without delay like rain. I'm not perfect. I've had both good and difficult days. However, I do this so that when we experience pain, heartbreak, or confusion, we don't just suffer. If you're reading this right now, it might not be a coincidence. Perhaps your soul has brought you here because you needed to hear something genuine, honest, and felt. We develop, we discover who we are, we discover who is for us and who is not. And if you are still trying, hoping, and breathing, you are strong. I may not know your exact story, but I do know that you are important, that your soul is lovely, and that something better is on the horizon. So even if you can't see it yet, stick with me. Together, we will overcome this. Archangel Michael has created a circle of fire around your energy, preventing any lies, gossip, or scheming. However, keep in mind that once you are protected spiritually, your choices must also preserve your tranquility. When you donate $100, not only we but also the sky bears witness. You are now one of those who are a bridge to heaven. Forgiveness does not imply re-entry. God says, "Forgive them." This means you can no longer tolerate certain talks, certain energy, or certain individuals, even if they arrive with tears, apologies, or explanations. You are also no longer obliged to watch over those who have attempted to harm you spiritually. You must realize this. Bless them, but do not return them to the place they attempted to destroy. The new connection, the right opportunity, the divine appointment that is coming up, all of these things require a clean spiritual space, which is why exposure came before elevation, why the identity had to be revealed before the reward, and why the next person God is sending into your life cannot come until your circle is purified. Your future is too valuable for empty words, so let's go even deeper. The person who attempted to harm you underestimated the divine covering over your name. If you had received the blessing while still surrounded by betrayal, it would have been tainted. However, now the soil is ready, the path is clear, and the blessing can fall like rain without delay. The plan didn't fully work because even in your pain, angels were thwarting invisible attacks. You have no idea how many times you were supposed to fall but didn't. They forgot that when someone is chosen, everything associated with them is also marked. Their home, their mind, and their dreams all carry divine encryption. It's not luck, it's favor. And now something bigger is stirring. This person's exposure is just the first domino, and as it falls, you'll notice that other hidden truths start to come to light. People you once questioned will start to show their true selves. You may see old messages reappear. You may have forgotten dreams that come back with new significance. I must tell you this. There is a gift being released to you in the spirit right now. You will start to piece together what actually happened, and when you do, don't feel ashamed. Instead, feel empowered because understanding is the last piece of closure, and with that closure, you will step into a confidence that no one can ever take away from you again. It's the gift of discernment. From now on, your spirit will sense things more quickly, and your intuition will speak louder. You'll be able to tell when someone is lying, even if their words are sweet, because you'll feel it in your dreams, in your skin, and in your chest. This is heaven's way of making sure you never fall for the same trick twice. Because the next version of your life will require divine sensitivity, God is not only healing you but also sharpening you. You will be functioning at a level that most people won't comprehend, but that's okay because you were never meant to blend in. Rather, you were meant to stand out. Take this seriously. Your surroundings are more important than ever. Examine your space and make sure it's clean both physically and spiritually. The last spiritual tie snapping is not your imagination. It's the sound of your atmosphere aligning with the promise. Light a candle, play worship, pray with an open heart, and declare out loud that no concealed darkness will survive in my home. From that point on, everything that tries to revert to sabotage will be stopped at the door both physically and spiritually. Remember what you just went through. Don't rush things, and let this message sink in. Let the truth reverberate in your soul until every last part of you believes it. You are no longer the same person you were before this message. You are wiser, sharper, and more spiritually aware now. And that, my dear, is power. Therefore, walk differently, speak differently, and move differently. The beauty of divine revelation is that once the truth becomes ingrained in you, deception cannot ever deceive you again. Finally, realize that you are trusted by heaven, which is a title far more valuable than anything the world could offer. You have been given insight that some people pray for years to receive, and it came to you not because you begged, but because God chose you to know. Let that settle, let that humble you, let that empower you. The one who attempted to harm you will see you rise, hear of your success, and watch as you radiate an unshakable peace. They will know without a doubt that their energy was ineffective, and they will realize that what they attempted to curse, God has decided to bless. You are now free to love with discernment, trust yourself, grow without hidden sabotage, and receive the blessings that have been waiting for you. Go now and rest in this truth. Heaven is not silent about your life. It is loud today, and the message is clear. Their words, their actions, and their schemes didn't matter because divine protection is unbeatable. Watch what occurs next, and as the light of this message fully anchors into your soul, take a deep breath. You were chosen, you were warned, you were loved enough for the truth to be shown, and now nothing can stop what is coming for you. You've waited, you've persevered, you've smiled through confusion, you trusted when things didn't make sense, but now you're stepping into understanding. You're no longer walking blindfolded through a spiritual battlefield. You're awake, not just from your lungs, but from the part of your spirit that has been silently holding its breath for far too long. A veil stretched over your path in the spirit realm, soft but heavy like spiritual fog that made everything ahead look unclear, but you could feel something beyond it, a pull, a promise, a potential. You know, and that changes everything. Let me show you a vision that heaven is releasing now. It was not God who placed that veil. Rather, it was stitched together by words, negative words, jealous energy, and deliberate spiritual blockages set by the very person God has now exposed. Today, however, the veil has been torn, the pathway is open, the light is flooding in, and you were protected. Every time you reached for it, however, something pulled you back. Watch what occurs next, and as the light of this message fully anchors into your soul, take a deep breath. You were chosen, you were warned, you were loved enough for the truth to be shown, and now nothing can stop what is coming for you. You've waited, you've persevered, you've smiled through confusion, you've trusted when things didn't make sense, but now you're stepping into understanding. You're no longer walking blindfolded through a spiritual battlefield. You're awake. You're aware. And that changes everything. Not just from your lungs, but from the part of your spirit that has been silently holding its breath for far too long. In the spirit realm, a veil stretched over your path, soft but heavy like spiritual fog, making everything ahead appear unclear. You could feel something beyond it, a pull, a promise, a potential, but every time you reached for it, something pulled you back. Let me show you a vision that heaven is now releasing. The veil was not placed by God. Rather, it was stitched together by words, derogatory remarks, jealous energy, and deliberate spiritual obstruction set by the very person God has now revealed. Today, the veil has been ripped away, the path is clear, and the light is pouring in. You will notice this change in little ways, starting with the fact that those who once sapped your energy will feel more burdensome to be around. That's heaven tuning your frequency. You've upgraded and not everyone can join you. You'll feel your spirit withdrawing away from their talks, which may feel lonely at first, but it won't last since new energies flow in as old ones go. Your name is being whispered in high places. Archangel Michael says, your name is being whispered in high places. This means that someone is going to mention you where it matters. People who speak with purity, pray without agenda, and celebrate you without competition, they're coming. You'll know when they do because of how calm your spirit feels around them, not how loud they are. But here's the thing, don't try to force it. Let heaven orchestrate it. What's coming is not man-made. It's divinely timed. And when it happens, you'll know it was God. The peace will be undeniable. This time, a conversation will be had and your name will be brought up in honor, not in harm. You are no longer behind. You are aligned. And every second from this point on is working in your favor. You no longer need to chase. What was meant to break you actually strengthened your discernment. What was sent to silence actually made your voice stronger. And what was meant to delay you only led you to a better lane. Now that what was meant for you is coming after you, you need to keep in mind the sacred thing. Spiritual guilt is a ruse of the devil, who will try to convince you that you are being cruel or unforgiving. But God says you can love them and still leave them behind. Spiritual safety is not selfish. It's sacrosanct. You're not being frigid. You're being covered. When heaven reveals, the only right thing to do is to obey. That's what protects your future. Beyond that, you're being prepared for leadership. Yes, leadership. That's the anointing being activated. Don't panic. You don't have to know everything. You just need to be open, honest, and speak from what you've learned from your own journey. You'll find that people start coming to you with their own spiritual questions, their own pain, and their own confusion. They'll be drawn to your energy because something about you feels safe now. The healing process starts there for both you and them. Let's now impart one last truth into the air. You are not in danger. Rather, you are in transition. Transitions are always messy in the middle, but don't think the shaking is shattering. It's simply the sound of spiritual chains coming loose. Because every time God reveals something, He also modifies your future, so you are no longer moving in the direction that sabotage set. And when the dust settles, you'll notice that you're standing taller, seeing more clearly, and walking lighter. That's how you'll know the change wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual. This is your moment, and you didn't miss it, you didn't postpone it, you didn't lose it. You are now entering what was written before the earth was even formed. That version of your life, the one that was always meant for you, is calling now, and for the first time in a long time, nothing is in your way. Your eyes are open, your heart is guarded, your energy is protected, your soul is aligned, your angels are active, your name is clean, and your future is already in motion. Now, go live in it with joy, with confidence, and with a quiet knowledge that heaven is speaking your name with love. Up until this point, you were simply not ready. Thank you for sharing a few minutes of your time, heart, and attention with me. I know that words move quickly, and that sometimes they become so loud that we forget to hear our own voices. And that love, sweet soul, will never let you down, not today, not ever. The exposure is complete, the protection is sealed, and the promise is on its way. If you are still listening, I want you to know that you are not alone, that heaven sees you even when it seems like no one really sees you, that God understands your soul even when no one does. Life is not always simple, and sometimes we carry things that we don't talk about. Please don't give up on your story because the page you are on now is not where your story ends. In fact, something beautiful may begin right after this. You are still here, strong, breathing, surviving, and searching for light. The light is not far away. It is in you. The world may not always applaud you. People may leave. Plants may fall. I am sending love, peace, and strength to you from my heart, not just today, but every time you need it. If no one told you this today, you are unique, you are important, and you will always be remembered in God's eyes. Keep in touch with me, not just with me, but with your soul. I will be there whenever your heart needs a gentle place to fall. In the meantime, remember to take care of your soul, your light, and your faith, for a better future is already on the horizon.